Welcome to Thoughtful Conversations podcast. It's your girl Monica,
It's Chanel.
and we're so happy that you guys tuned in today. Today is a really great day to talk about life as an athlete.
Retired athlete.
Yes, a retired athlete at that. So we could go a whole lot of directions with this. However, let's just tell them a little bit about our background. I've been playing basketball since I was 5. My father was a coach. My brother played. My whole family is just a really big basketball family. And I feel like it's in my blood. However, I think that like being an athlete has never like really mentally left me. However, my bones, listen, my joints have said otherwise. I've played at 3 different colleges, and then coming back and like going into corporate setting, it's different. And like playing in leagues and being a retired athlete is still fun. Like playing in leagues and having competition is still a great thing. It's still fun, but it's definitely different. What's your experience been like?
So I played basketball since I was 2nd grade, and it's been a part of my life forever. I feel like it's like you said, Monica, it's literally like it's in my blood.
Period.
Even in the mentality of just like how you handle just life.
Mm-hmm.
Playing a team sports, playing basketball is so much comparison of how you deal with life in a lot of aspects. So I played collegiately, and great time. Literally would do it all over again. I sometimes think about like, man, there's just different entities. I'm like, if I had done this, and just these thought processes of like just being an athlete at a full-time level beforehand, you just kind of think back and reminisce, and it's just so good. It feels so good. And to know like, man, we really like we worked hard to earn like, full scholarships and be able to say we completed, and just it's just a blessing. Like when I think back, like, man,
we did.
Woo, it was a time. But yeah, I love basketball even to this day. I was playing in some leagues a while back. But just kind of like, at this point, I'm like, Monica always asks me, when are you gonna play? You gonna play again? I'm like, I'm trying. I don't want to get injured. Not saying I will get injured, but I'm just like, I just be like, I don't know. I was playing, but then I think really what made me be like, let me take a step back. This one girl tore her meniscus or her Achilles, and I'm like, wow. I'm playing in the PSA league. I said, I am not tearing nothing for not one PSA game. So I was like, yeah, but I definitely still get the urge sometimes, like to hoop, or like I'll go shoot, or and just so many great memories that basketball encompassed for me in my life. So it's a forever sport I'll be indebted to.
That's so good. Honestly, like women's basketball has came so far. Like I look around and I'm watching, Angel Reese getting double doubles every week after week after week, and then I'm looking at Caitlin Clark. She is a phenomenon.
Yes.
Like she is different. Okay, she is built different. But also like looking at like where like the WNBA was back then versus where it is now. It's like night and day.
It is.
Do you hear me? People used to like laugh when they're like, do you watch the WNBA? No. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's because people were not invested in the people. They were not invested in the players like they are today.
Yes.
Another thing that I'm like looking at is that like basketball is like a language. When you think about it, like there are so many like different people that are like on your team that like you would never hang out with on a daily basis, right? But because you guys share that commonality of having to be on the court together, like it allows you to meet people of all different like nationalities and spaces and walks of life, and like it draws people near. And I've seen so many things with like the NBA, and like I just love how they're in support of the WNBA now. I love how like women's basketball is just coming farther and farther along, and like they're putting more money into it. Like now they're trying to like up their pay. Like Black women are one of the most like disproportionately paid athletes in today's time, and so it's just so important to like love basketball.
Loving basketball. I love it's such a great time. It's such an amazing time to watch like I just grew up watching college basketball, like just like had so many like people that I just admired, and then like seeing them go to the WNBA, like at one point Candace Parker, like oh my gosh, like I was obsessed literally, like Sue Bird and just like all Cheryl Swoops, all these amazing founders of the game, and look at where we are now. Like you said, it's a really beautiful sport. So I don't care what people say, you know, all the negative side of it, you know, it's always gonna be negative sides of everything, but we've come so far, and I think so that good. To where it is, we've come up. So I need to go to a game though, for real. I need to go to one and definitely just wear all my outfit, all my WNBA outfit.
You should. I had the privilege of going to the Final Four this year.
Yeah.
And watching LSU and all of the great teams, South Carolina, and like it was so amazing. And they had like simulations for your families, and it was sponsored by Capital One.
Yeah.
And like they had so many games that you could play. And you could win different prizes, and like you literally walk through, and they give you bags and bags of gifts and prizes, and it just adds to like the ambiance of the environment. But I say all this to say, you know, women's basketball has come a long way. And, you know, it's like the new topic right now, you know, and I think it's awesome. Like you said, I look at the Lisa Leslies, you know, unfortunately, like poor Brittany Griner, you know, like it must have been horrendous to be stuck in a country where you know nobody, you know, in prison, you know, just sitting there for a year, you know. But like it's like women like that who've trailed the path for like the Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reeses, the Flages, you know, to now be able to like be a topic. So it's cool.
So tell us some lessons you learned from hooping.
Yeah.
What did you take from the game?
Yeah, I think basketball teaches you resilience. You know, I think basketball teaches you to not give up, right? It teaches you, well, every sport really, teaches you to not give up. But like, you know, you miss a three, right? You need to get into the paint, right? You try again, right? And it teaches you to find different ways to get to your goal.
Yeah.
But also it just pushes you to communicate better, to be a better person. It teaches you character, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to like really be a student of the game, right? And so just being able to like grow in the sport, but also grow as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that any person who's played a sport from 5 years old to now, you're a different person.
Right.
Right. And the sport has probably made you better, whether you know it or not, right? It's taught you that integrity, right? It's taught you how to grow in your heart and your passion for the game. But also like you take that into the corporate world, right? And so I've just learned how to be a better person because of it. So
absolutely. Yeah.
What about you? What are like the main things that you've taken away from basketball to now?
The main thing I've taken is being able to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. In sports in general, you're uncomfortable with how plays are done, or what the ref says, what the girl has said to you, and you got to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable, but you have to be comfortable with that in order to get past and get to the next game. My coach used to always say, basically, don't have short-term memory, you know, next play. You know, you got to just forget it. Otherwise, if you're dwelling on that, then you're never going to get to the next play in order to see what that play can hold for you.
Oh, that's good.
So that taught me so much. And another aspect of the game that I take with me today is, like you said, like don't stop, like don't give up. Just everything, leave it all on the court. Leave everything there. So whatever it is, you give 100%. So diving on the floor, that's 100%. You know, playing defense, getting your defensive stance, 100%. Details, another thing, you know, being detailed, because if you're detailed, then that can win the game. You know, defense win games because you're detailed, because you're hustling, you're getting after it. So it just taught me so much of grit, grind, getting after it, don't stop. Like, even to this day, I think sometimes it's like made me be low key like OCD, because I'm like, like I have to remind myself, wait a minute, you know, just because you get so detailed oriented. But they all have translated into my life today, career wise, everyday wise, you know, waking up, thinking of discipline, you know, going to practice, like, oh Lord, like the 2-a-days, college, waking up.
Those were hard. Do you hear me?
Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, it's so, those times, like I said, I would do it again. It's just those time periods of when you have to discipline yourself. And we love to shoot the basketball. We love to dribble. We love the smell of the court. We love the smell of the leather on the ball. We love all of that. But to do the little small details, you know, we used to have to do this towel drill where we would take the towel and like basically walk across the floor, and we had to keep doing it. Like, I feel like the whole practice, but that was practice. And like, man, we didn't get to touch a ball.
Yeah.
But that was a detail we had to do in order to become better. And then, you know, we'll be better for the game. We'll be better for our teammates. And it teaches a lot of selflessness. Like, it's not about you.
That's good.
You know, it's about this person next to you that needs you to come through off the screen. You know, you got to set that pick strong so they can do what they need to do for the betterment of the team. So it's just like so many principles, man. That's why I say, like, no problem. If you ain't never played sports, hey, it's cool. You'll still learn life lessons without it. But I think that being on a team teaches kids so much that they can gain in life if they have the proper guidance and if it's taught the way it's supposed to be taught.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And like, kids nowadays, honestly, like, it's so important for them to have that like growth and that discipline. And sports does such a great job. Even if your kids, you know, if they don't like one sport, try another sport, right? You know, getting them outside to play, right? Getting them active. There's so many benefits to that.
Yes.
But I think one of the things that it teaches them also is leadership skills.
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and knowing your personnel, right? Knowing who's on your team, right? Knowing your teammates, right? Knowing their strengths, their weaknesses, right? Being able to speak to that. It helps in their communication skills. It helps them grow, you know, as a team.
Yeah.
And then they're able to take that into their corporate world and like dominate, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen CEOs. I've seen so many people who have sports backgrounds and they're dominating the culture because they know how to work in a team setting.
Most definitely.
You know, so it's just know your role, know your personnel, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
What are some things you would say that you experienced after you stopped playing basketball? Like, after your life was in basketball, that wasn't, you know, waking up, and how did you feel after that?
Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different. I remember graduating and I remember being like, okay, so now what?
Right.
And I think that people have to prepare your college athletes for the now what, right? And prepare your high school athletes for the now what, right? And that part is knowing, okay, not only are you a high school student athlete or a collegiate student athlete, but you have other gifts. And I think that thankfully I was able to like understand my giftings in college, and I was able to like grow them as well. But you know, taking that time to grow your gifts in college, in high school, that isn't necessarily sports.
Yeah.
So like, some people maybe have the gift of math. That is a gift, right? You are able to crunch numbers like nobody else, right? But like, when you're done with sports, like, maybe you can go into accounting, right? When you're done with sports, maybe you can go into finances or banking or, you know, executive financing. Yeah. So whatever that is, know your gifts, right? And I think that is something that spoke to me is, okay, Monica, I have to like look at myself in the mirror and know that, hey, I'm enough, right? Even though I'm not playing on a team anymore, even though I'm not, you know, running up and down a court, I don't have a ball in my hand. You're enough, right? And I think that it's so easy to leave one season and to think that in another season, like, you've lost something, right? But no, like, you gained it. And so you do have to have that perspective shift of knowing, hey, I've gained leadership skills. I've gained character. I've gained integrity. I've gained the ability to communicate. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to hone in on advocacy, right? National policy, prison reform, giving back to the community. What does that look like in my life today, right? And how can I be better, right? And so I think that's really good of like just positioning your mindset of how can I be better tomorrow, and what do I have in my hands, what has God given me that I haven't really explored yet.
Yeah, and that's so good, because that energy, that same energy you will take, like we already said, it will lead you so far. And just something that happens to me now that I've, I'm out of hooping and everything in that aspect, when I'm going into doing anything, and when I know like my capabilities in it, it's like I get this feeling. And if you hooped or played any sport, it's like before the game, you just feel like I'm about to, that dog in you, like about to go in and score 50, and it's that same feeling though that you get when you're about to attack something. And I think that when you are positioning yourself and you're about to go into doing anything that you're doing, any endeavor, you take that same energy that I'm about to go for 50, and you go for 50 in whatever that is that you're doing, whatever job that you're doing. You take that energy, because that energy is what will get you to that next level. You ain't got a ball, like you said, anymore. You don't got to be in a defensive stance, all those things, but you still are going to try to get the W no matter what, whatever you're doing. So it's that energy that I take. Like, I feel the energy right now. It's like it's up on me, what they say is in me, it's that energy. And I think that it's so big that we've been able to be gifted. Like, man, God gave us a gift
so good
that people can see.
Yeah.
And it's a platform, like hooping, of course, is fun, and it's also for us because we enjoy it, but also it positioned me to be able to talk to people, like you said, and after college, being able to just be in environments where how to take those transferable skills into what I'm doing. So yeah, it's definitely though, after you're done playing sports, it's definitely a feeling of like, it's like a hole. It's like a,
so what now?
Yeah, it's like a, whoa, this is different. It's crazy. You're in the real world, because we've been babied, honestly. We got meals. If you was on a meal plan, then you had your meals paid for, you had housing, if you were in that position. So it was just like, okay, now I'm really here doing this. But it's definitely been such a blessing to have those skills that have been instilled in me and will forever be instilled in me. And I pray that I'll be able to take those same type of, skills that have been given to me, instilled in me, and I can, give it to my children, and they pass it along, and they understand what that is. So
that's so good. Yeah. Man, so many good nuggets. Do you hear me? So many good nuggets. But one of the things that like you said was like transferable skills, right? And like people have to know that like not only like give yourself grace in the transferring process and the process of transitioning, right? From being a college athlete or a high school athlete into the real world.
Yeah.
But, knowing that like God is giving you enough. Right? Like you are enough as you are, without a ball in your hand, without you being able to run up and down the court, without you being able to win games.
Right.
You are enough as you are, and God's created you so immaculately that like you have a purpose. And the beauty about purpose is that, like you can explore like what God has called you to. But if you don't know what God has called you to, like lean into that, right? Yeah. Lean into like, okay, like ask the Lord, okay, reveal in me what I don't know about myself.
Yes.
Reveal in me like my gifts, my purpose. And he will in due time. And so I think that's one of the things that I didn't get to mention is that like, like adulting is already hard, but adulting without Jesus is even harder.
Yeah.
And so being able to like go into corporate, being able to go into your job, wherever you want to be in life.
Right.
Take God along with you. So.
Oh yeah. Take him. He's with you. So just grab his hand and say, let's do this. He's got you.
Yeah. I saw this video and it was like, yeah, we thought that grabbing his hand was just us walking down the sidewalk. But it's more like a hold on.
Literally, like, okay. We squeezing on him at his waist, like, okay, legs flying in the back, holding on for dear life.
Hold on.
Yes. It's so real. And just to kind of speak on, like you were saying, like holding God, taking God's hand and making sure that you pray about what it is that you're going to do after. And this is just even for someone that either has nieces or nephews that are about to make the next step into college or making, different decision-making processes, or if you're watching and you're in high school or something and you're trying to make the next step to get into, college or figure out what you're going to do athletically, pray about it. And from personal experience, coming from high school, you're 18, you're like, what do I do? You may already have a decision made. Pray to the Lord. He literally will guide your footsteps. He will tell you where you need to be. And even if you make a decision of where you thought you were going to be and it's different than what you thought, whether you're going to go NCAA, AA, or you're going to go NAIA, because all those little terms make you feel away. Like, hey, listen, don't get caught up into that. It's good. So important just to know that, hey, God, if you want me to be in the NCAA, or if you want me to go NAIA, or you want me to go D2, whatever, it's going to glorify the Lord because he's told you to go that direction, not what your mom or your coach says, or don't be a people pleaser, really hone into your spirit, your Holy Spirit. Don't forget you have a Holy Spirit too. Just like, your anyone else that is around you that's a believer. So that was something I struggled with, coming out, was like, oh, what do I do? Like, do I go to this college or that college, or like, do I just not do it? And even if your decision is to not, that's okay too. That's okay. It's all about following the direction of the Lord, and don't be fearful, because I know fear can tell us to do one thing. Maybe you do want to do that, and maybe that is the best route for you to go to a college, what have you, but don't be fearful. Just know that, he's made you specifically for a time such as this, and he's going to carry you and guide you.
So good. Oh, that's so good. Man, well, that's it for today, guys. We want to thank our first sponsor, you guys, Purposeful Productions out of Plano. They're great. If you want to start a YouTube channel, maybe you want to start a podcast yourself, maybe you just want to start your own TV show, right? All of it is great. They'll work with you. You can use our coupon code TC. All right. Use the coupon code TC. All right. And you can get 10% off your first service. Okay. We want to thank you guys for tuning in today, and we love you. Okay. Listen, keep having the thoughtful conversations.
Yes. Y'all have the best day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. We love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.